Hi there, welcome to our virtual spring meeting. My name is Adriana Magoni and I'm your child's first grade teacher. Now the purpose for today's video is to go over reading, writing, and math expectations and goals, as well as give you some resources so you can help your child with their academic progression. Okay, let's go ahead and begin our slideshow. Reading expectations and goals. So in first grade, reading levels are very important. It's expected that your child enter first grade on a level 6 and exit first grade on a level 18. So let's go ahead and look at, on this slide, Elgin ISD reading levels. So we have kindergarten, first grade, and second. So right here, it says beginning of the year, level 6. So students would start off on a 6, continue to practice and grow to the middle of the year and be on a 12, which is where we're at in this time right now, and then continue practicing and growing and end the year on level 18. And then right here there's a little note, expected to start second grade at a DRA level 20, which means that your child would continue to practice reading over the summer and be ready for second grade on a level 20. Let's go ahead and look at some examples of what this looks like in text. So a level 6 would look like this. You're going to notice that the sentences are repetitive. Kids can do a lot at the library. It's very similar to this sentence. Kids can read books at the library. Sight words are a little bit more simple. Images help with difficult words. So it's level 6. And also notice that there's one sentence on each page. All right, an example of level 12. Notice that there is more sentences. Sight words are a little bit more difficult. Okay. The images still are helpful to the reader come up with the difficult words that they may or may not know. So this is a level 12. And let's go ahead and look at a level 18. Okay, so the font is now smaller. They're still about 3 to 4 sentences on a page. The sight words are more difficult on this one. Okay. So these are just some examples of the text that you may see on a level 6, 12, and 18. All right, let's go ahead and now go over reading expectations and goals. So it's expected that your child would know and recite 200 sight words. And we'll get a little bit more into this in a little bit. I have a resource for you. But for the sight words, whenever a child sees a sight word, you want them to say it. For example, and is a sight word. So instead of saying and, your child would just say and. They would just see the sight word and say the sight word. All letters and all letter sounds. So your child will be able to recite the alphabet and the sounds of each letter. Words with silent E, for example, game, hope, time, rule. Words with vowel teams, here's some examples in vowel teams. Digraphs, here's some examples. These right here are the ones that we definitely cover in first grade. And we focus on. Blends, this is not limited to the ones that we just focus on. We learn a bunch of blends. Just some examples. Decipher meanings from the picture. Like I had mentioned on the slide before, the reader would see a difficult word and use the image to help them try to figure out that difficult word. And then decode words by sounding it out. For example, the word mat. If your child didn't know the word mat, just for example, they would sound it out. Mat. Or if it was that. That. Okay, let's go ahead and now go over writing expectations and goals. So here's an example of a first grader's writing. So at the end of the year, your child should be able to, by the way, write at least 3 to 5 sentences independently. Know and use capitalization rules. Use finger spaces between each word, and then no punctuation rules. And so all of this right here is, by the end of the year, your child would be able to do this independently without teacher assistance or parental assistance. So here's the little example. Okay, let's go ahead and go into the next slide. Math expectations and goals. So I'm going to go ahead and go over these with you. Count to 100 by ones, solve word problems, skip count by 2s, 5s, and 10s to 100, which is what we're practicing actually right now. Count backwards, read, write, and represent whole numbers to 120. Compare numbers up to 120 using the symbols greater than, less than, or equal to. Identify 2D, 3D shapes. We haven't covered this yet, but this is coming up soon. Describe length to the nearest whole unit using a number and a unit. Data analysis with graphs. Model joining, separating up to 20. Determine the value of a collection of pennies, nickels, and or dimes, which is also something we're covering at this time. So if your child is at school, a folder was sent home this week. And if your child is at home, the folder will be in the front office. If you could please schedule a time to come by and pick it up. The information in this folder is easiest to read in person, in paper form. So it's a little difficult for me to email, so I apologize for any inconvenience, but I have everything in a folder ready for you if you're at home. If you have any questions or concerns, just email me and we can talk about this a little bit more. And one thing I wanted to mention earlier, and I forgot to, and I apologize, is on the DRA, if you're wondering what level your child is on, I emailed you on Monday letting you know about today's video, as well as in the beginning of the email, I told you your child, beginning of the year DRA and their middle of the year DRA level. So just go ahead and go back to that email if you need a reference. Or you can always contact me, of course. Okay, student information folder. So in this folder, you're going to find 3 things: STAR Math Report, M-Class Reading Screener Report, Elgin ISD Sight Word Packet. Okay, so in the STAR Math Report, what you're going to see in there, and I highlighted it for you, you're going to see this little chart right here, and I highlighted whether or not your child did not meet grade level, approached, met, or mastered. So you're just going to go ahead and look where I highlighted and then go through the packet to see what your child did well on and what they need a little bit more improvement on. The next one is M-Class Reading Screener Report. There's also another chart, and this is going to be on the upper right hand corner. Your child's going to have their score, and then it's going to indicate whether your child was well below benchmark, at benchmark, or above benchmark. And then it's going to list how your child did in phonics, spelling, all these different reading components and skills. And then on the second page, I highlighted where it says your child could use more support. And there's a paragraph or 2 listing how you can help your child and what they need a little bit more support in. Elgin ISD Sight Word Packet. Earlier in this video, I said I would talk a bit more about sight words. Now, this is a resource I put in your folder. It has kindergarten through 2nd grade sight words. What I recommend is you start with kindergarten and work your way through the packet and see what your child, what words your child knows and doesn't know. Make note, practice, and just keep going through the packet. So, academic expectations. This was in the email that I sent out on Monday, but I thought I would put this in here just as a little refresher. Please make sure your child is logging into Amplify Reading for 15 minutes and Raz Kids for 15 minutes daily. Here is how to go on to each one of these resources. Raz Kids. Click on the app on the home screen. Teacher username is A. Magoni, then your child's name, then click on the Apple icon. For Amplify Reading, you click on the app on the home screen or class link, log in with Google, and then use your child's email credentials. Another great app that students really enjoy is Teach Your Monster to Read. You can download this from the self-service app, and it is free. There's no school login. And the kids really do enjoy this app, so I would look into this if you haven't already. Reading resources. So Amplify and Raz Kids is definitely something your child needs to be accessing every day. So here's what the image looks like, just in case you need it. Teach your monster to read. Here's what this one is. iStation and then Sight Words. For some math resources, here is Prodigy and Starfall. These are all really good apps to help your child progress in reading and math. What are your goals for your student? Please fill out the Google form and create a goal for your student. Now, part of this assignment there, you're going to see the Google form. Just go ahead and fill it out, and also write down what your goal is for your child. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this virtual spring meeting video for supporting NIDIG and your child on their educational journey. I know this year is very different, and I appreciate your support and your patience as we're working together to help your child on their educational journey. Okay, have a great one.